this horse looks very progressive, and I'm happy to have him on Saturday.
Finrock is going well. What a win. Second race start in the Sires. Finrock too good. Brave Design second on a Vuitton. Then Eden Rose.
And I think Secret Wonder is ready to break the maiden with those gear changes.
Secret Wonder. Aramozo is going to drive at the right time. Made it very interesting.
This horse should be winning again. It's almost free money.
And Bakil will justify the short quote and eased up on the wire from Nunez, won by 3/4 Texan Windstorm.
I'm hoping he can go on with the job, make it 2 in a row and get us out at Murray Bridge on Saturday.
Bouncing beyond Global Turn, Jenny Esprit, Global Turn, Neurice from nowhere. Neurice from nearly last is in a photo.
Hello everyone and welcome to another preview. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the last week's winners montage that was just played. It might be making a permanent return from today onwards, which is nice. Good racing on Saturday, the Group 1 Coolmore Classic day in Sydney, Vobis Day at Caulfield, racing at Morphettville and Gold Coast as well around the country on Saturday. 3 at Caulfield, 2 at Rosehill, 2 at Morphettville, 5 at the Gold Coast to look at. Let's get on with things. Starting the day off with a little bit of value at Caulfield, race 2, number 7, Paradise City, 1.25 units to the win on it at $6. This was her last start win at Sandown in a benchmark 74 over 1400 metres, went straight to the front and they didn't catch it. Obviously faces a bit of a rising class here, benchmark 74 up to the Vobis Gold Distaff Open Company against the mares, but this was a Sandown Hillside winning performance, and the Sandown Hillside's got a 550 metre straight and she was able to defy all of them. I think she can take the rising class well. Around Caulfield would be more suited to leaders, I would have thought. Is 2 from 2 at the 1400 metres. Senior jockey goes on in Linda Meach. Gate 5 looks to get a pretty easy lead again, and I'm happy to take it. In race 3, the Mystic Journey, also for the fillies and mares, I've landed on horse number 5, Samangu, 3 units the win at $3. In race 3, it all adds up. This was her last start win at Caulfield in the first race on Blue Diamond Day. Last start, she was off a bit of a freshen up, so she put in a really good performance to be able to win here, even though Miss Aria faced off against her in this occasion and gets a 4 kilo weight swing on Samangu. You would think Miss Aria would finish ahead, but Samangu was leaning into the head breeze that day. I know the head breeze probably didn't end up playing as big of a factor as what it was scheduled to be, but I thought the best horses won those races regardless, so I think Samangu's just got a bit more upside than Miss Aria. Only its 7th race start on Saturday. I think Samangu can take another step, and from gate 2 should be able to be right on speed again and hard to beat. Finishing off Caulfield in race 5 with horse number 2, Athanatos, 2 units the win at $4.80. This was his last start run at Sandown on the hillside track, where he just got way too far back with the big weight and stormed home to finish 3/4 of a length off the winner. This was only his second up performance. He was 1200 up to 1500 metres this day. Now I think third up to 1600 metres he is ready to peak. He's 1 from 1 over the 1600 metres. He's 1 from 10 in his career, so it looks like he loves the 1600 metres. Doesn't have to get as far back as what he did on this occasion from gate 3. I'm thinking midfield, settling position at worst for this horse. Can settle on speed. I'm hoping right behind the leaders. Is one of the best horses in the race, and I'm happy to take the chance on Athanatos. Going up to Sydney now, Rosehill race 4, number 5, Strata Verena, 3 units to win on at $2.90. The Group 3 Magic Night Stakes for 2-year-old fillies over 1200 metres. I was with this horse last start. Let's see what she did. It was at Canterbury, went straight to the front from the outside gate, ended up winning by 2 lengths, was clearly superior to this field. From gate 6, Colette, I don't think he has to lead on this horse. There might be a bit more pressure here being a 14-horse field and maybe a bit better quality opposition. However, if it doesn't lead, it's got the ability from the gate to settle 1 out, 1 back or just in behind the leaders. Got good early speed. I think it's a really good horse. Bjorn Baker's flying. I'm happy to be with Strata Verena. It's now time to see which horse profiles the best for a race, and this week's race that we've picked out is the Coolmore Classic, Group 1, 1500 metres, fillies and mares. Lady Shenandoah heads the market at $2.35 ahead of Lady of Camelot at $6.50, $7 about for the Toppy Amelia's Jewel. Longer odds the rest. 4 dot points to look at. The first of those dot points is 10 out of the last 10 Coolmore Classic winners have been 4 to 6 year olds. So out goes the favourite Lady Shenandoah, out goes the second favourite Lady of Camelot, and also Manal is out as well. The next dot point is that 8 out of the last 10 Coolmore Classic winners have had a starting price of under $10 at their last start. So from memory, out goes Sounds of Heaven and Our Gold Hope. The next one is 9 out of the last 10 Coolmore Classic winners have drawn inside the first 2/3 of the field. So at the moment, there's 14 horses. 14 times 0.75 is 10.5. So any horse with gate 11 or further out will be scratched. So out goes Firestorm, Grinzinger Bell, and Lady Shenandoah and Lady of Camelot were already out anyway. And the last one is 8 out of the last 10 Coolmore Classic winners have been second to third up in their preparations. So out goes Marble Arch, out goes Electrica, and we are left with 5 horses: Amelia's Jewel, Alentia, Alsafina, Coeur Volant, and Scarlet Oak. These are how all the horses polled in terms of how many points they got based off those historical stats. Probably might have a box first 4 on those 5 horses, all with 4 points. Bit scared not having Lady Shenandoah in there or Lady of Camelot, but history says they're going to have to be at their best to win this Coolmore Classic. If I had to pick one out of those top 5, it'd probably be Coeur Volant. I was quite impressed with their last start win down here on Blue Diamond Day, winning by 4 lengths. Gate 1, right in behind the speed. Hopefully gets luck when it counts. If I had to back something, it'd be Coeur Volant, but I probably won't because it looks a very even race. In race 9, I've landed on horse number 2, Iona Merck, 1.25 units the win on at $6.50. This was his last start win in the Liverpool Stakes at Randwick, just beating With Your Blessing by the barest of margins. From gate 2, I'm hoping this horse can settle right on speed. I thought the way he finished off his last start, the step up to 1,500 metres, would be right up his alley, even though he's never seen that trip before. And I can't doubt Bjorn Baker, the way he's going the past couple of months. He's flying his horses. Gate 2 settles right in behind the leaders on speed, and I think he'll be really hard to beat. Now heading to Morphettville. This one's a bit of a strange one. Race 1, number 5, Annihilate. 1 unit the win on at $10. When you look at that last 5 and see 0, 7, 8, 6, 7, you think I've lost my mind. This was his last start run at Murray Bridge just last week. He's off the week back up. We also get to watch the devastating performance of Bakil again. Annihilate, look, it was an impossible position last start that it was in. It made up some decent ground late to get to 7th, I thought, from an impossible position. I just like off the week back up and senior jockey on. No matter what your chances are, I always like those two things. For a horse to have. From gate 3, can set a little bit closer as well, and I think this horse is over the odds. In race 3 at Morphettville, 3 units the win on number 5, Truly Elsa at $2.70. This was her last start trial. This was at Morphettville on the Parks track with Matthew Chadwick on, who rides her on Saturday. Chadwick brings the weight down to 53 kilos, which I like. Gate 8, this horse could easily end up outside the leader, or they could take their medicine from the gate and try and finish off. It'll depend on how she jumps, I guess. But we've talked a lot about on review shows young horses against the older horses and how they always do well. Most of the horses in this race have had 20 starts, except for maybe one of them. This horse has only had 5 starts on the way up, could go to a new level this prep, and I'm happy to be on. It's that time of the week, it's last man standing. 4 out of the 5 of us made a profit last week, which was really good. Vinny, 100 the win on My Temptation, storms into the lead from Sharon, who's in the green. I'm slowly catching up, but need to make up a bit more ground. Nikki had a winning week last week. Sky High Horse Racing still on the bottom, so this is what we're doing this week. Vinny is playing it safe, 100 the win on Revelare at Caulfield. Sharon, you can pause the video if you want to see all her bets, but I can't really be bothered to read them all out. I've gone with 40 the win on Samangu, 40 the win on Strata Verena, and 20 the win on Athanatos this week. Next we move to Nicky. He is also pretty similar to mine actually. He's having 40 the win on Lindemann, also 35 the win on Strata Verena, and 25 the win on Samangu. And Sky High Horse Racing is going for $100 all up. We've got Revelare into She Dances the place, into Benagil the place, into Lady Shenandoah the win. That's what we're doing for Last Man Standing this week. In the first at Gold Coast, I like horse number 8, Demon Darb. 1 unit the win on at $8.50. This was his last start run at Doomben in a Class 4 over 1,350 metres. Got really well backed in late on this occasion. I like to see the good market support for him last start. He's a winner at 1,800 metres in the past, and although he was probably peaking a little bit at the end of 1,350, I just think third up will be peaking up in distance to 1,700 metres. Get a nice little bit of cover this start, and well, he's proven himself over the distance, so I think that this horse can get back to winning ways on Saturday. Race 3 at the Gold Coast, I'm with number 1, the Toppy, Caspanova. 3 units the win on him at $2.90. This was his last start win at Eagle Farm in a benchmark 70 over 1,200 metres. Got the absolute dream run on this occasion, but still put him away very nicely with a big gap back to third position. Gate 15 isn't ideal, but comes into 13 of 17 after 5 scratchings already since acceptances have come out. This horse has won 4 of his past 5 from gate 15, lands on speed, hopefully with a nice little bit of cover in the 3 wide running line. And if that happens, he should win again, but I think the only way he can get beat is if he races wide without cover or does too much early work. Bit of value in race 5, I'm with horse number 15, Scud. 1 unit the win on at $10. This was her last start win at the Gold Coast. This was in a benchmark 60. Now has to go up to a $125,000 race. So it's a big step up in class. However, gets a weight drop, 60 kilos down to 52 kilos on Saturday. Is a winner at the Gold Coast track in the past, as we're seeing now, which I like. This was over 1,300 metres, so back to 1,100 metres I don't think does it any favours. However, it's got a win over 1,000 metres already recorded, so I'm not too worried. From gate 9 and a lethal turn of foot, I just think the race could set up for her on Saturday. In race 8, the Gold Coast Stakes, I'm with horse 13, Red Top. 1 unit the win on at $6.50. This was Red Top's last start run. This was, I believe, at Doomben, over 1,600 metres in an open handicap. Carried 52 kilos here, carries 53 on Saturday, so it's a similar class race. I thought was doing some decent work through the line. 1 from 1 at the track and trip, so I think up to the 1,800 metres we could see this horse hit a new PB. From gate 15, it's not ideal, probably has to get back to almost last, but I think over the extended trip has a better chance of picking them all up, and I think it's good enough to win. I'm happy to have 1 unit the win on at $6.50. And finishing off the day in the Gold Jewel with number 5, Ready for Anything. 1.5 units to win at $5. This was an outstanding run last start at Doomben behind He's Heaven in a benchmark 78. Only got clear probably with 250 metres to go and was really charging through the line. Absolutely charging through the line. This was over 1,200 metres. Up to the 1,400 metres suits. Draws gate 7 of 12, which is an ideal gate, I reckon, for a horse that settles midfield to back. Will be storming down the outside late on the beautiful Gold Coast track, and I think Ready for Anything can get us out on what's going to be a cracking Saturday. Now it's time for Let It Ride. This is a graph of how we are going. Obviously lost it all after week 1, but last 2 weeks have been winning weeks. Bakil ended up paying $1.47 when I got it on Thursday, so that was pretty good. We're up to $1,837.50. Now this week it was pretty tough. I didn't think there were too many standouts, but I've just tried to find the safest bet on Saturday, and I'm going to go the place on Caulfield race 3, number 5, Samangu. I just think she's going to be in a very good spot, gate 2, either leading or just in behind the leaders. Even if Miss Ari is a little bit too good for her on Saturday, I'm hoping she can at least run top 3, and if it stays at $1.30, we'll be just under $2,500 next week. Thanks everyone for watching this week's preview. It's going to be about a 22 unit spend. Last week finally got back into a profit for the week. Overall profit is still in the green, which is good. Hopefully they can keep going with a lot of winners this week. Thanks everyone for watching again, and until next week's preview, bye for now.